Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Indian Vedic House. Today we are going to talk about the six planet conjunction that is going to happen on 29th of March 2025, where Saturn, Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Sun and Moon, all of these six planets are going to be conjunct in the sign of Pisces before moves out of the sign after 2 days. This is going to be a very high energy area in the Pisces sign at that point of time. And a lot of discussions are going on around it. A lot of people are very anxious about it. And I'm sure a lot of you are also wondering what changes it may bring for you, because this is a very rare occurrence. And not just this, because Ketu is always at 180 degrees from Rahu, Ketu will be in the sign of Virgo, and it will be aspected by these six planets, and it will also be aspected by Jupiter and Mars. So Virgo is going to be highly influenced during this time because all the nine planets will be influencing the Virgo sign. So depending upon where your Pisces and where your Virgo falls in your chart based on your ascendant sign, you have to be a little careful around the significations of those two areas, which we will be talking about very soon. A very interesting fact is that a similar conjunction had happened on 25th of December 2019, where six planets were conjunct in the sign of Sagittarius. And we all know what had happened. The COVID began. So when such a high energy is conjunct, is coming together in a particular sign, it's very likely that something equally dramatic may happen once again. Another interesting fact is that Saturn and Rahu are going to be in the sign of Pisces after 1968. So 1968 was the last time when both of these planets were conjunct together in the sign of Pisces. And Saturn and Rahu conjunction, as you all know, is said to form a dosha called a Shrapit dosha. So people who have Saturn and Rahu in their birth charts, in their natal chart, are very well aware of this energy. This energy is not a very positive energy. People having Shrapit dosha in their chart continue to struggle throughout their life in almost every area of their life. And when this conjunction is happening, it's going to impact us. And this is going to be huge. So I would like to bring your attention to a couple of incidents, unfortunate incidents, which had happened in 1968. So we all know that on 4th of April 1968, assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. had happened when Sun, Venus, Mercury, Saturn, and Rahu were in Pisces. This time, along with these five planets, Moon is also going to join this conjunction. Similarly, when Saturn and Rahu were in Pisces, on June 5th, 1968, assassination of Robert F. Kennedy had happened. So you can understand when both of these planets come in Pisces in conjunction, they create a havoc. Similarly, when Saturn, Rahu, and Moon were in Pisces on May 22, 1968, the US Navy submarine USS Scorpion had sank mysteriously in the Atlantic Ocean, and all the crew members, 99 of them, were found dead. So we are talking about this kind of energy now. I don't want to scare anyone, but at the same time, I want all of us to be prepared for what may come and maybe take some precautions based on what we'll be talking about or how it can impact your particular sign. And what all doshas and yogas are getting formed in this conjunction. On this conjunction, it's going to be a new moon. Sun eclipse is going to get formed. Venus and Mercury, both the planets are going to be retrograde. And we know that Saturn and Moon conjunction forms Vish dosha. Saturn and Rahu conjunction, as I said, forms Shrapit dosha. And not just that, this day, 29th of March 2025, is going to be a Saturday. So more influence of Saturn on this day. And Saturn and Rahu are not just going to be in the same sign, but also in the same nakshatra, Purva Bhadrapada, and the same pada, the fourth pada. So it's, if you see, it's going to be a very close conjunction between Saturn and Rahu, along with the conjunction of other four planets, especially Sun and Moon coming into picture, especially Sun and Saturn when they are in conjunction, they show a lot of restrictions and suffering and a lot of karmic events. So this is going to be the time where you, based on your past life karma, are going to see some instances happening in your life, something which may release some blockages or which may be an eye-opening incident for you. So a lot of, a lot of realization which may have a lot of karmic influence, either of the past or which is going to turn your life 180 degrees in the near future. All these kind of instances may happen during this point of conjunction. And Venus and Mercury are going to be retrograde. So it's also very likely that communication and movement disruptions may happen because Mercury is a planet of communication. So we may see some changes in those areas as well. And as we all know, Pisces is the last sign of the Kalpurush Kundali. It's the sign of moksha, liberation, enlightenment, letting go. So it holds a huge signification when we talk about this conjunction happening in the sign of Pisces. And this is going to be a mind affecting, soul affecting, some changes that will affect you on your subconscious level, something related to past life, something that may define the purpose of your life or make you realize about the purpose of your life. These kind of changes are very likely to happen. And Pisces sign is a water sign. So it's very likely that water related incidents like tsunami may happen again. And if you remember, on 26th of December 2004, when there was a tsunami in the Indian Ocean, at the time Saturn was in the water sign Cancer. And on 15th of August 1947, when the partition of India had happened, where 2 million deaths happened and 15 million people were displaced, at that time also Saturn was in Cancer along with Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus. So at that time also we had this 5-planet conjunction in a water sign, which was Cancer. So we can see, I mean, the energy of multiple planets coming in a particular sign based on the characteristics of the sign may bring several changes or some very powerful unfortunate incidents. Similarly, when Saturn and Rahu were in Leo, which is a fire sign, along with Jupiter and Mars, Mars holds a lot of significance here. I'm talking about May 18, 1980. Most powerful US volcano eruption had happened on this day, the Mount St. Helens uh, eruption that had happened. So these conjunctions, again, I'm reiterating, I don't want to scare anyone, but they hold a lot of energy and it may bring some major incidents. So it's very important that we understand that what may be forthcoming and be prepared for that. 2025, what is it that we can expect out of this 6-planet conjunction? One thing which is very, very evident or very much likely is the political changes. Some changes in the leadership is very likely, especially in the major countries like India, US, and Russia. Some technological breakthroughs may also happen, like space exploration advancements may happen during this time. A lot of social movements are also expected because this Sun and Saturn conjunction, it's all about protests and activism, ideological shifts. Something of that sort is very likely to happen. At the same time, this can also relate to spiritual awakening because it's happening in the sign of Pisces. It may lead to enlightenment. So it's going to be a very powerful period. I'm saying that again and again, but that's how it's going to be. And now let's talk about how each of the signs are going to get impacted with this conjunction that is going to happen on 29th of March 2025. So the prediction that I'm going to give you is to be seen both from your ascendant as well as from your moon sign. Usually the transit changes are seen from the moon sign, but a lot of time it also makes a difference when you check it from your ascendant sign. So I would highly recommend that you see a combination of both. Let's say if you are an Aries ascendant and a Virgo moon sign, so see it for Aries as well as moon, as well as Virgo, and then a combination of both can be something which you may get to see. And I have probably said, I'm used to say ascendant, so I may have said ascendant only at some point of time, but do understand that every sign that I'm talking about, it may affect you both from ascendant sign as well as moon sign. Aries ascendant people, it is going to be the 12th house for Pisces and 6th house for Virgo. So 12th house represents foreign travels, isolation, imprisonment, health issues. 6th house also represents health issues, maternal family, service, loan. So you have to be careful around these areas because it's likely that if you have been expecting a foreign travel which has not been materializing, may eventually happen. If you're expecting a travel and it's already planned, it may lead to cancellation of it also. You may face some health issues or something may happen that you may have to get isolated from your family. Do take care of your health during this period of time. And if you have been planning to give money or take money, try to postpone that for around a month of this date because it's likely that your money may get stuck at this point of time. So you have to be really cautious around these areas. You may also face challenges at your workplace during this point of time. So stay low, stay calm, and do not take any hasty decisions at this point of time. Talking about Taurus, for them, Pisces sign is going to be in their 11th house, and Virgo is going to be in their 5th house. So they may suddenly be interested in picking up a new skill, new talent, and they may have a lot of interest towards it. Their children may also get into either they may face issues related to children, or their children may get separated from them, maybe go out for education or some reason or the other. So children may be a point of worry or concern for them. At the same time, if you have been expecting to socialize more, have a greater friend circle, or maybe expecting some gains from somewhere, that may get stuck for some point of time. Your social circle may get reduced for during this period for next couple of months or so, around the date that we are talking about, that is 29th of March. So you have to be really cautious around these areas. If you have been trying to spend money on travels, luxury, enjoying, partying, shopping, you need to hold your horses for now, because when Venus is going to be in conjunction with so many planets and is also going to be retrograde, it's also very likely that you may do senseless buying, which actually may not be needed, and you may regret at later point of time. So hold your horses, do not spend a lot of money at this point of time, especially for the Taurus ascendant people. Now, talking about the Gemini ascendant or moon sign, it's going to be their 4th house and their 10th house. The 10th house will have the Pisces sign, and 4th will have the Virgo sign. So if you have been planning to buy a property, invest in some asset, a huge investment, buying a vehicle, then do not do around the time that we are discussing right now. It may be very likely that this may not turn out to be what you're expecting it to be. You may also see a huge change, huge shift in your career, which may not be very positive. So if you're looking for a career change, hold on for some time. Do not rush into any decision at this point of time, because your 4th and 10th house are going to be highly overloaded with the energies of these planets. So you may see several changes. Relocation is also very, very likely at this point of time, or getting separated from, moving away from your family is also very likely. Relocation due to job is also very likely. Job change, career change, expected promotion not happening, or sudden leadership changes, something of that sort at your career front may happen. So be careful around these areas. Do not rush into any decisions. Take your time, think through it, and only then proceed with whatever you want to do. Cancer ascendant and moon sign people, it's going to be their 3rd house and their 9th house. Uh, it's likely that you may have some conflicts with your siblings. So again, be very cautious about it. You may feel lazy. You may not feel like doing anything at this point of time. Your enthusiasm levels may drop to a great extent. If you have been planning long distance travels, that may eventually not happen. Or even if they happen, they may turn out to be fruitless. I mean, you wouldn't find it very beneficial. So again, do not plan a long distance travels during this period of time, and try to postpone them if it is already planned. Your father's health or your relationship with your father may also be impacted. So be a little careful around that area as well. You may either, if you're spiritual, you may suddenly lose your spiritual tendencies. If you're not spiritual, you may suddenly start feeling very spiritual. So some changes in those areas are also very, very likely. So overall, it's not going to be a very troublesome period for you, apart from the fact that you may see some health issues or some issues related to your father. For Leo ascendant and moon sign people, it's going to be their 2nd house and their 8th house. It's going to be a very, very transformational period for you. 2nd house is also considered as the Marka house, which is going to be super active at this point of time. It's also the house of family, speech, your wealth, your eating habits. So it becomes a very important house for any native. At the same time, 8th house in itself is the house of transformation, and now it being impacted with so many planets, so many heavy energies, you are going to experience a huge transformation in your life. You may suddenly get interested into occult or spirituality. You may get into some secretive things. It's also likely that you may have some unfortunate incidents, like you may have some health issues, some upcoming surgeries may materialize, or you may even fall into a situation where you may have a minor or a major accident. So be a little careful. Avoid any unnecessary adventure activities. Avoid driving at a high speed. Make sure that you wear seat belts. Make sure that you wear helmets during this period of time, because this period is going to be a little difficult period for you, a little struggling period for you. But at the same time, as I said, it's going to be a transformational period for you. Things that will change your perspective will happen during this point of time. Now, for Virgo ascendant or moon sign people, it's going to be their 1st house. Virgo, as I said earlier in this video, is going to be influenced by all the 9 planets, and it's going to be your first house, and Pisces is going to be there in your seventh house. So you need to focus on yourself. You have to be very careful how you're behaving, how you're talking, how you're carrying yourself, what decisions you're taking. Do not get into any unethical practices, because it's very likely that you may have those opportunities which may seem like too good and difficult to say no to, but don't fall prey to that. Also, your seventh house. So if you're married, if you're in a partnership, be very, very careful about it, because it's very likely that you may see some turbulence in that area. So for Pisces ascendant or moon sign, and for Virgo ascendant and moon sign, it's very important that they are very careful in terms of how they are talking, how they are behaving, how they're thinking, and they need to be very careful, keep their calm, be in a compromising mode, sacrificing mode, because that's going to help you sail through this tough time, because it's going to be a very, very influential period for you as well. Libra ascendant and moon sign people, Pisces is going to be in their sixth house, and Virgo is going to be in their 10th house. Again, be very careful towards your health. Situations may happen that may, lead you to getting isolated from your family for some reason or the other. It may be a travel or a relocation because of your work, because of your job, because of your service, that may eventually require you to stay away from your family. And for Libra ascendant or moon sign people, Ketu is going to be in the 12th house, along with the aspects of all other planets. This period is going to make you very, very spiritual. You will learn to let go. You will get detached from a lot of things. You will start looking for meaning of life, purpose of life. What am I doing here? Why have I taken birth? Is this all that I want? Or is this all that I am born to do? So these kind of thoughts will appear in your mind at this point of time. Saturn and Rahu, along with the other four planets, are going to be in your sixth house. So be very, very cautious regarding your health, especially your liver, digestion issues, maybe jaundice, maybe acidity issues. So be careful about that. So Libra ascendant people have to be a little careful about the health issues, because that is one area where they may get highly impacted. For Scorpio moon sign and Scorpio ascendant people, they would not want to enjoy anything. They will feel very detached with all these kind of luxurious things. Ketu being in their 11th house is going to make them give up on most things, not wanting to socialize, not wanting to have fun, enjoy life. They will, again, just like Libra ascendant people or Libra moon sign people, will be feeling more detached and more wanting to find the purpose of the life. At the same time, their Pisces sign is going to be in the 5th house for Scorpio moon and Scorpio ascendant. So their focus again will be on learning. Children will be area of concern, because to note here again, Saturn and Rahu, along with the other four planets, are going to be in their 5th house. So they may see tantrums from their children. Children may start behaving very differently and in a very disappointing way. If you are in a love relationship, it's likely that the love relationship may break. Or if you're looking to find love, this may not be the best time for you to do so, because your 5th house is going to be influenced with negative affliction because of the presence of Saturn and Rahu. And also retrograde Venus, not to forget that retrograde Venus, any love relationship started during this period of time is eventually going to end very soon. So avoid, thinking on that note, because it's going to be a disappointment today or tomorrow. Talking about the Sagittarius sign, moon sign and ascendant sign, they may actually change their job, even though they may not want to do it, but they eventually may. It's very likely. They may not feel happy at all in their homes. They may want to wander around. They will not find peace staying at their home. So they will always have this feeling of running away from home. So lack of domestic peace will be there during this point of time. Again, if you have been planning to buy a house or a physical asset or a property, refrain from doing it for some point of time. Though it's very likely that you will get very good opportunities, very lucrative opportunities at this point of time. But as long as retrograde Venus and Mercury are not moving out of that sign, the sign of Pisces, do not indulge into any such activity, because again, you may regret that decision. And even if for some reason you have to do it, please make sure that you read the documentation properly, because retrograde Mercury is going to be in that house. It's very likely that all the paperwork may have to be done more than once. So it's very important that you stay cautious from that front also. For Capricorn moon sign and ascendant, you may feel very lazy at this point of time. You may have this tendency of doing something, you want to do this something, because Rahu will make you obsessed towards doing things, but Saturn will continue to make you very lazy. And even though mentally you want to do things, physically you will not be able to do it. At the same time, the Virgo sign is going to be there in your ninth house. Which will make you very, very spiritual, very, very religious. You may want to plan travels to religious places. Either you may have already been doing it, which the dates are aligning end of March or April, something like that, because this is the time when you will have this tendency of visiting religious places, which is good. I mean, if you can go ahead with the plan, definitely go, but it's very likely that the plans may get cancelled, even though you may not want to do so. For Aquarius ascendant and Aquarius moon sign, Ketu is going to be in your eighth house. Again, you may get into spiritual practices, occult. Please make sure that you do not get into anything like black magic or any negative form of these practices, because you may have this desire to do so, or in one way or the other you may get dragged into it. So please be cautious about that. Your Pisces sign is going to be in the second house. So again, you have to be very cautious about your speech, because this time, because of your speech, you may break or make relationships. So it's very important that you be cautious about that. It's likely that your investments, your savings may get spent in something or the other. So that's also very likely, because your eighth house is also getting activated again. It's likely that you may get into a troublesome situation. You may have some upcoming surgery or something, and some dental issues are also very, very likely for you. So if you have been waiting for some dental surgery, dental treatment to be done for some time, it's very likely that it will eventually happen during this point of time. So that's also very likely to happen. With your family, your relationships may get affected, may get negatively impacted. So again, as I keep saying, stay low, keep calm, do not get into arguments, be willing to compromise, and just let the time pass. And finally, the Pisces sign, the sign which is the most talked about sign right now, because the sixth planet conjunction is going to happen in the sign of Pisces. It's going to be their first house, and seventh house again will be Virgo, where Ketu is placed, and all other planets will be aspecting it. A very important period for you. And I think it's very likely that based on your desire, um, and how you intend to use this time, you can either get a lot of things out of this time, or you may actually result into a lot of experiencing a lot of damage as well. So this is a time where you may get a lot of name and fame also, because Rahu is coming into your ascendant sign, and Rahu is a planet of sudden gains and sudden losses. So if these planets are benefic in your chart, and they're well placed, and you are in the right direction, this can be a very golden period for you as well. But if not, then this can be a very damaging period also. It can take a toll on your mind. It can put you into depression. You may not have any clarity of what you want to do. So be a little cautious, prepare your mind, think what you're trying to do. If you have some plans that you have been postponing, try putting efforts in that area. It's very likely that it may get executed during this period of time. But again, talking about the seventh house, be very, very cautious, because if you are into marriage, if you're into a partnership, it may get impacted. So and especially it's going to be Ketu. Ketu is the planet of separation, detachment, isolation. So be a little careful. It's not that this Ketu is going to be in this sign for these 2 days. It's been there for the last since November 2023, and a couple of more months to go. But the point is that other than Ketu, the other 8 planets are also going to aspect that sign during this period. So it's going to be focused energy. So that's why the impact is going to be larger. So that was the prediction for all the 12 moon sign and ascendant sign. If you have any questions, please post in the comments, and I'll try to answer as many as I can. And if you like the video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you all in the next video once again. Thank you.